Yeah, Wasim, right here. You didn't hear my question? So, this is the question that I ask you. What I said is when you apply for a job and you don't get it, do you consider yourself fired or do you just say, oh, well, that job just wasn't meant for me? Right? Because when you said you came in, you said Jasmine Crockett's been fired. And I said, no, she hasn't. She's literally in Congress right now. And she hasn't been fired. You can't be fired from a position you've never had. Just putting that out there for you in case you're not familiar with how it works. Good morning, good morning, good morning to the folks that are watching everywhere except for TikTok. Um, if you are watching me anywhere other than TikTok, you got to say hi to me in the chat because I won't be able to see you if you don't. And also, if you are watching on Substack, um, I, for whatever reason, the interface between Restream and Substack, I can't see your comments. So if you're talking to me, I love you, mean it. I'm so glad that you're here, but I can't see what you're saying. Okay. All right. So good morning, Sarah. Good morning, MG Brock. Good morning, Penny GF. So listen, I don't know about you all, but I'm incredibly excited about the results from the primaries. I'm like super excited. So I have thought about kind of all of the results that have come out of things, and am really excited about where we are and what we have to work with as we approach the midterms. And so let me just say this. Good morning, Rawl. I would have been happy no matter who won the Texas primary, because they are both tremendous candidates. Okay. And there were going to be pros and cons no matter who won. Okay. Good morning, Helen Wills. And so let me tell you one of the things, though, that I really think that there would have been pros and cons no matter who won, right? No matter who won. One of the things that I think is awesome. So right now, James is projected to win. Right now. Good morning, Island Boy. And here's my thing. Okay, so I want you all to remember something. We are talking about the state of Texas. Okay, and when we talk about transitioning and movement and all of that, let me just be clear. Okay, James Tallarico will be progress for Texas compared to what they've had. Yes or no? Yes or no, will James Tallarico be progress over what Texas has previously had? Of course. Of course. And here's the thing. We have to manage expectations, especially when we are talking about different regions, different states, different communities, different areas, different people in different places in the country are going to be ready for certain progress in certain ways. Yeah, well, you can say, no, he leans to the right. Here's what I will tell you is you will not find a single thing that he has done in the state legislature that went against progress. Well, here's my thing. Okay, so let me just say this. You can say he leans to the right. His voting record is progressive. Well, you can say he's Fetterman 2.0. There's just no data to back that up, though. There is no data to back that up. There's none. And just because he is progressive doesn't mean that he's going to agree with every single thing that you do. The Democratic Party is a big tent, folks. The Democratic Party is a big tent. And we have different progressives that are under that umbrella, that are in different places as to where they feel. Here's what I know. He's not going to be voting to put Christianity in our schools. But that's true of everyone, Island Boy. Name for me a political candidate that some of the people who support him aren't doing horrible things. Please name for me a political candidate who their donors you don't have any questions about. No, Edna, not to my knowledge, no. So I'm just throwing that out there. Let's talk about it. Okay? Tallarico doesn't even come up on the Track APAC website. Right. So here's my thing. He didn't take PAC money. Did he? No. To my knowledge, he didn't take APAC money, to my knowledge, which I can pull up his stuff now. We can pull up the FEC website. We don't have to guess about it. We can literally pull up the FEC website. But to my knowledge, he did not. So the reality is this, folks. You are not going to agree with every single person. And okay, so let me just say this. If this race had been in California or Illinois or Oregon, right? I would have had maybe a different expectation that Jazz would have won. Okay. But I don't have that expectation in Texas. And no matter how you slice this fucking cake, James Tallarico is an improvement for Texas in terms of a senator. Yeah, there's going to be a runoff in the Republican race. So the bottom line is, folks, listen, do not be part of the problem while we fuck up these midterms. Let me be very, very clear to every single one of you watching. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you don't like it. Get your ass together and support James Tallarico as the Democratic candidate. That's it. That's all there is. And for the folks that are saying, nope, you're part of the fucking problem. You're part of the problem. Because let me tell you what Republicans do. Republicans get behind whoever the nominee is. Whoever the nominee is, they get in line. And they put all of their shit behind him. All of it. Good morning, Pin 1010. And it is time for progressives to start learning how to do the right thing. There is never going to be a perfect candidate. Never. And let me share with you why I'm a little excited. No, the original Mr. Old School, that's just simply not true. His voting record does not indicate he's more of the same. You're just inaccurate. There is nothing in his record to back that up. There is nothing in James Tallarico's record to back that up. Y'all don't like the fact that he's another white man. Y'all feel some kind of way because you distrust him. And I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not telling you to be like, oh, I trust him. He's going to be everything, whatever. No. What I'm going to say to you is, here's what I'm going to say to you is, is that the reality is don't set your expectations. Don't set any expectations. Good morning, M. Tom. And just simply allow him to do the job. Yeah, all of you all have bias because he's another white dude. And historically speaking, white dudes in this country fucks things up, especially for people of color. Historically speaking, that's the trend. We get it. We got it. And that still doesn't change a couple of things. So let me tell you one of the things that I'm excited about. I want you all to think strategically for a minute and stop being selfish. Okay? Listen to this. I want you to think for a strategic moment and stop. It shouldn't be, because his religion is what made him stand up to everyone else in Texas. Literally, he is against putting religion in anything, in government and in schools. And he has fought that in Texas every step of the way. So one of the things that excites me is the Trump campaign. The GOP has no ammunition against Tallarico. They don't. He can't be the angry black woman. He can't be the person that represented Antifa during the protests, right? Because Jasmine represented people during the George Floyd protests that were locked up. She's a civil rights attorney. I want you to stop and think strategically. What is the GOP going to say about him? They have no ammunition. The man was a teacher, right? He was a teacher. His voting record is progressive. Like, what can they say? There's nothing they can say. And Texans don't have their inherent subconscious bias against him to start with. There is no unconscious bias or subconscious bias. There is no innate prejudice that for them to even get over. There's nothing for them to even get over. And he's a Christian. Check box, white, male, Christian. And a track record for voting progressive. So from a strategic standpoint, politically, this is an exciting moment. And let me just tell you all something. There are different types of bulldogs. There are the loud bulldogs that bark and let you know they will fuck you up. And then there are the quiet ones that just wait and they let you get close enough. And then when they feel threatened, they tear your ass up. And then go right back to being the sweet puppy they were a moment before that. James is the latter. When people say he doesn't have grit, he does. He does. If you've ever seen him talk on the floor, he does. He does. He stands his ground on the Texas floor. He does. Good morning, Sandra. And he just smiles while he does it. That's it. That's exactly right, Blue Honey Pot. Esmeralda, based on what? Based on what? When you come in the chat and you say Jasmine should have won, based on what? Because there's nothing. Now, he does not give me Obama vibes at all. Y'all listen. No one knows how anything what okay, listen, I want everyone to stop. Stop saying Texas isn't ready for a black woman. You don't fucking know that. You don't know that. You don't know that she's more for the people. They just have different styles. And one resonates with you more than others. That's it. And here's my thing, folks. I want you all to just stop for a moment because this is why progressives lose so fucking much. This is why. This is why progressives lose so fucking much. Never satisfied. This is a step in the right direction for Texas. This is a solid candidate that has an opportunity to win the fucking race. This is a solid candidate with a track record of voting progressive, with a track record of standing up against religious zealots, with a track record of doing all of those things. And this is progress. Period. There's an opportunity for him to win this race. Let them fuck around and bring up Paxton against James Tallarico. Or Cornyn. But I'm just saying. Nobody is saying to you, don't love Jasmine. Y'all, listen, Jasmine is still in Congress today. Is she not? Is Jasmine still in Congress today, folks? Do you know what I've actually thought about? Things that I've actually thought about, folks. The same way that Texas needed Jasmine, the same way that Texas needed Jasmine to help the people when people were being arrested and George Floyd and all of that. She's a civil rights attorney. There may be a time come 2027 that we need her in a different area of the fight. Y'all, there are multiple areas where people do good things. Right, attorney general or whatever. The bottom line is we have multiple places where we are going to be fighting. And I just need you all to stop for a second and level set. Good morning, Lisa. We may need her in the courtrooms. We may need her protecting schools and citizens and immigrants in Texas. So I really want you all, it doesn't affect her when it comes to LA Jones, not to the Senate race. The Senate is a statewide race. So I just need you all to stop and understand something. So listen, can we all agree that the Democrats in Texas showed up and showed out yesterday? Because was there or was there not massive turnout in Texas by Democrats yesterday? Yes or no? So guess what that means? Guess what that means, you guys? That means that energy, that effort, that intention won't return void. It can't. It has to accomplish what it set out to accomplish. It just might not be the way you thought it was going to be. This is why people miss their blessings. Because you got your heart set on that joker over there, but the universe knows his ass is a lying, cheating, whatever, and brings you the dude over here, and you so busy that you believe this is the dude that God brought you, you can't look over here. Are you so set on the yellow Corvette that you don't want to take the yellow Lamborghini? Like, come on, y'all. Stop for a minute. You better stop for a minute and get your shit all the way together. Get yourself all the way together. And for the person in the comments saying white man can't be your blessing, let me tell you something. There have been many moments in our history where it has been a white man that has been a blessing. I'm not telling you to just like be in love with James Tallarico. What I'm telling you is you better take your ass to the damn polls come November and vote for James Tallarico. And by the way, we have always needed white men and white women as allies. Always needed them. Is everybody a great ally? No. Is anyone a perfect ally? No. But y'all better stop it. But women aren't getting walked on. This is the part that gets me. In this scenario, y'all gonna make me cuss some more this morning. This is not women getting walked on. That is not this. They ran a campaign. It was a close fucking race. It is what it is. Women getting walked on or whatever would literally be a blowout. There was no such thing. Some of y'all woke up this morning and just chose to be fucking negative. You didn't look for the glimmer. You didn't look for the win. You just woke up because you didn't get what you thought was the best thing. You don't know everything. And I don't know what your faith is. I don't know what your faith is, okay? But whatever it is, whether it's God, the universe, Buddha, Allah, energy, whatever it is, the energy knows more than you know. Good morning, Chef Ryan. Come on, y'all. You better wake up and say, holy shit, Texas has an opportunity, a real opportunity, a valid opportunity to elect a Democratic senator this year. Do y'all know what would happen if Texas gets a Democratic senator this year? You want to talk about shook. You want to talk about shook? Come on now. So Black Army vet, again, you just like to be negative. I don't. I like to think about possibilities, and then I like to put in the work to make the possibilities become reality. That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. I like to think about the possibilities. And then if I want those possibilities to become a reality, then I do whatever I can within my realm to make those things become a reality. Now, if you want to sit back and be like, they won't do it, and just sit on your ass, then don't be surprised if they don't do it. But I am so tired of y'all sitting in your fucking negativity, and then you want to whine when you get negative results. You stay in negative all the damn time. All the time you talking about what ain't going to happen, what people aren't going to do. Meanwhile, you ain't doing shit to make it different. You ain't putting out nothing but negative energy, and then you want to complain when you get it back. If all you are putting out is negativity, do not surprise when you harvest. If your seeds are negative, do not be surprised when your harvest is negative. Period. I'm so tired of y'all. Oh. Mm-mm. You over here eating fucking Big Macs and then wonder why you ain't losing weight. Because you are feeding yourself the shit that is making you fat. I'm just saying. Good morning, Rebel. Yeah. Negativities are Big Macs in the world. In the world of energy, negativity is Big Macs. Keep eating that shit. No, Toop, I'm not. These are actual real people. And in this moment, Jasmine Crockett has an entire year to do her damn work. She has an entire year. And then to prepare for the next step. Texas needs work. And Texas needs people on the ground helping people, helping immigrants, helping citizens. Texas needs people in the courts fighting. Shoo-wee. I came up in this live all smiling, had my music going, and y'all got me cussing you out. Good Lord. This is literally, listen, y'all, I want to be really serious for just a second, y'all. Hasn't there been a position that you've applied for? A job you really thought was meant for you? You thought it was the logical next step, whether it's a job or whether it's a position within your existing company. And then when you didn't get it, you had to sit with it for a second. Right? You had to sit with it for a second. And you go, okay, I must not know everything. I don't know everything. And so it must not be meant for me at this time, in this moment. Good morning, Mom. It must not be for me right now in this moment. That's all it is. And then the next thing you know, something better comes along. And then you understand why you didn't get it at the time. Y'all might want to sit back for a second and wait to see what happens so that you can understand why she didn't get this win at this time. And for the person who said you're too old to keep putting your faith in white people, I didn't tell you to put your faith in white people. I don't put my faith in people. I put my faith in something bigger than people. Okay? I put my faith in something bigger than people. And then I do the work. And what did I tell y'all last night? When you give everything you can give, when you do all of the work that you can do, you, even if you don't like the outcome of something, even if you don't like the outcome of something, you have no regret. No, Adeline, I don't. And I told y'all, I'm excited. I am really excited. I would have been happy no matter who won. I also would have known that Jasmine would have been an uphill battle. And I know that. I really believe the GOP wanted her to win because they have a method for going after Black women. They have a method for going after Black women running for office. What are they going to say about Tallarico? He has an opportunity to really win. And the bottom line is, this will be a step for Texas. This will be progress for Texas. Y'all wanted Texas to go from playing in the playpen to running on the playground. Can we let Texas crawl and walk first? Can we let Texas crawl and walk first? We got other places in this country. We've got other places in this country that are ready to run on the playground. And what we've got to be focused on is supporting candidates, whether they are crawling, walking, running, climbing, right? And do everything possible to ensure that all of those Democratic progressive candidates are in the position to win come November. That's it. Appreciate it, old school. Period. And do you want to know how you know they're bothered? Do y'all see what's happening right now? I just want to point something out to you. Every troll that has been in my comments today has been saying, oh, yay, Crockett's gone. Yay, Crockett's gone. If she had won, they would have still been in my comments talking about she ain't gonna win, she ain't nothing, she ain't whatever. You don't see not one troll coming in here saying shit about James Tallarico winning, do you? Because they are scared of James Tallarico. They don't know what to say about him. They don't have an argument for him. That man won the damn nomination, right? And they still in these damn chats talking about Jasmine. Y'all better peep that. Y'all better peep that. This is the worst thing that could have happened for the GOP. This is the worst thing that could have happened for the GOP. So listen, y'all, sometimes if I don't get the best thing for my team, but I get the worst thing for the other team, I'm still winning. Y'all got me? If I don't get the best thing for me, so if my team doesn't score the touchdown, but the other team fumbles, I'm happy. If I don't score the touchdown, but the other team fumbles the ball, shit, I'll take it all day. You've got to start thinking strategically and politically and pragmatically. You all are being governed by your emotions. And you're not going to like the way everybody plays the game. But guess what, y'all? Until we are in a position to change the rules of the game so that people can't cheat, we're going to have to play by their rules until we can make it happen. I didn't believe that Kemp should be able to run for the governor of Georgia when he was the Secretary of State and was over the damn voting rolls. I don't think that should happen. I don't think that Paxton, as a candidate, should have been involved last night to go to the Supreme Court, right? But he was. So until we get to the place where we have our candidates in those positions to close those loopholes, we got to deal with what we deal with and make shit happen. And they want you to feel like something was stolen from you. They want you to have voter apathy. They want you to feel like shit, we never work. It never wins. We never get what we want. They want you to feel like that so you quit fighting, so you quit voting, so you quit showing up. Don't you dare give these assholes what they want. You better find the glimmer. You better find the win and get all the way behind it. If you have concerns about Tallarico, reach out to his campaign. Go to the damn meetings. Go to his events. Ask the questions. If you have concerns, get them answered. And then let him know that you will be holding him accountable when he gets his ass in office. Just saying. Black Army vet. Let me just say this as plainly as I can. I did not utter the words at all that James Tallarico was going to be on the side of Black progressives. That's not what I said. What I do know, and he is not anti-Black people. Okay? He doesn't support white Christian nationalists. I know that. Every person doesn't have to show up the way you want them to. Period, folks. So, like I said, I give a good damn how you feel this morning. I told y'all last night what my mama used to say to me when I was little. Oh, you mad? You better scratch your ass and get glad. Because this is the reality. This is what you're working with. This is what it is. Absolutely, Conchita. Cooper has the opportunity to flip the Senate seat in North Carolina, and Tallarico has the opportunity to flip the seat in Texas. That is huge, folks. Can you imagine what 2 Senate seats, Democratic Senate seats, would do? You want to talk about being able to block dumbass confirmations? You want to talk about being able to ensure that we don't have shitty people in the cabinet once we impeach and remove Kristi Noem? Come on, y'all. There is a real opportunity for Roy Cooper to flip North Carolina blue. North Carolina loves some Roy Cooper. And Tallarico has a real opportunity to flip that Texas seat. And I don't know if you all saw this, but based on how they voted in the last year, Brett Kavanaugh has now risen to be the one conservative judge that is most likely to vote with liberals on the court. Ain't that something? What do you mean Michigan Senate seat is in question? Yeah, y'all. Yes. Good morning, Ronnie. So I'm just saying, folks, you've gotta stop for just a moment, and you have got to find the glimmers. Well, it's not my opinion on the Kavanaugh piece. That's actually based on their voting record and their statements over the last year. It came out yesterday in a report. Well, I choose it, Black Army vet. I choose it. You say you love my optimism. I choose it. Every single one of us can choose. And some of you all are just waking up and choosing negativity. You just choose it. You are looking for, and I see the same things y'all see. I see the same things y'all are seeing. But guess what? When they are not, when I can't do shit about what they are, I am not putting my energy in them. Why would I choose to get on somebody else's negative roller coaster ride? I can't direct it. I can't change it. I can't do anything with it. When I can say, nope, I'm going to choose this really happy, fun ride over here. And I get to determine how many loop de loos I do. I get to determine when I get on and when I get off. Why would I ride somebody else's roller coaster? Good morning, Clarice. No, thank you. I really set this morning and when I first saw it, because as soon as I woke up this morning, that's what I saw, Tallarico. And I said, okay, let's sit with it for a moment. What are the positives? That's literally the first thing that I asked myself. What are the positives? And immediately I thought the GOP is like, fuck. That was my first thought. The GOP is like, shit. Because they have an arsenal that is full and ready for Jasmine. They do. You've seen it all the time. They don't have an arsenal against Tallarico. James, it's not about, Michael James, it's not about whether I think he would be better than Crockett. It's not about that. It is about the fact that he has a real opportunity to flip that Senate seat. And he has a really good voting record in Texas. Oh, by the way, can I give y'all another glimmer? Do y'all want another glimmer, y'all? Can I give you another glimmer? A little silver lining, another win. Can I give you one? You ready? So the Trump organization, the Trump administration dropped all of their court filings. So do you remember when they went after certain law firms? And the law firms that they went after them because they represented his opponents and his quote unquote enemies, right? I meant to tell y'all this yesterday, right? But yeah, they had been appealing that decision and they dropped the appeals. They dropped the appeals. They keep losing in court. And the media doesn't talk enough about the fact that they are losing, that they are giving up. Yeah, she can run for Texas AG. Yeah, they are losing in court the vast majority of the time. And it matters because there were certain law firms that were kowtowing to him, that just bowed to the administration and became compromised because of this administration. There were universities that were doing the same thing until Harvard was the first to stand up. And so what generally happens is the news talks about this horrible thing that Donald Trump did with an executive order. And they might cover the first ruling, but then when it's going through all the other steps, they just don't talk about it anymore. And therefore people don't know the wins. Hey, purse mouth. Listen, folks, you have the choice on where you want to focus your intention and your energy. You do. You have the choice on where you want to focus your time and your attention and your attention. And so what I would recommend is that you look for the wins. Be intentional about looking for the wins. Y'all are so used to looking for the losses. That's what you're focused on. Look for the wins. Make it a behavior, make it a pattern. Because if you don't believe it will shift your perspective, it does. It shifts your daily perspective. And then it becomes so much easier to find them once you make it a practice. I love it. Your kiddo gets to ring the bell, completing chemo tomorrow. We love that, Tara. Michael James, you know what I always say about that. You know what I always say about that. He said this gets tiring. Yeah, well, I mean, I just want you to think about how tiring it was for the ancestors. I just want you to stop and think how tiring it was for the ancestors. Yeah. We are just we are just so spoiled. We're so exhausted. Really? When's the last time? I'm just saying, you know? Yeah. So just kind of offering that. Okay. Good morning, Warner. Good to see you. Yeah, they got tired and then they kept going. And so, listen, I understand that things can be tiring. Hell, y'all make me tired. Y'all make me tired. But the reality is so that is why it's so important for you to have things in your toolbox. You have to have things in your life that refill your cup, that get you energized, that get you back. Listen, guys, this is the thing, even in war, you all, when soldiers are on the front line, they can't be up there but for so long. And then they have to come in so they can get taken care of and they can get healed up and they can rest and somebody else takes their place for a little while. Even in war. Y'all, this is like a relay race. This is like a relay race. So you got to have people in your life that you can pass the baton to. Or you have to be in a community so that you know that when you take a rest, somebody else is carrying the baton forward. That's what you got to be able to do. Right, Sin. This is a real opportunity. So, so I just like take that for a minute and sit with it. Okay? So, I'm going to give you another reason. Um right, that's it. That's it, folks. So this is my thing. um I think about what might happen. They are not the same fights over and over again. It's never the So let me just say this. We have to fight the fights until we learn the lesson. So my question to you would be, what is the lesson that we haven't learned? And are we actually fighting the fights or are we addressing the symptoms? Good morning, Nance. So let me give you this. So let me give you a different analogy. Okay? A different analogy would be this. Are we are we actually treating the illness, or are we managing the symptoms? Because I believe that for a large part of the country and the world, right, we have been treating the symptoms. We have been managing the symptoms. What we have not been doing is treating the illness. We have been managing the symptoms. That is why being where we are today is so shocking, because for 40, 50 years, we had the symptoms under control. We had the symptoms of systemic racism. We had the symptoms of sexism. We had the symptoms of some of these things under control. What we thought is that by passing legislation, all of these things would be fixed. Right? We thought that by passing laws, things would be fixed. But laws do not change the hearts and minds of people. Let me say that again. Laws do not change the hearts and minds of people. We must do both. We must change the hearts and minds of people and change laws. And that's the part that people don't want to do. It's crock pot cooking versus microwave. People want microwave. It doesn't work like that. We didn't get here in a microwave. Where we are today has been a long crock pot cooking. Republicans have been cooking this game, this meal in a crock pot for 50 years. Hear me when I say that. The Republican Party has been cooking this crock pot, this meal in a crock pot for 50 years to get here. And Dems think we're just going to be able to microwave solutions. No, we're not. No, we're not. It's the same thing like when you're cooking a big meal at Thanksgiving, right? You put some things in the oven first because you know they're going to take longer to make. Do you not? Do you not? Of course you do. And you put some things in a crock pot because you can put them in there and leave them. And then you make other things at different times, don't you? You cook different parts of the meals at different times so it will all be ready around the same time. That's how you cook dinner, right? We are cooking dinner. We are cooking a meal. We are cooking a meal that the whole country can pull up a chair to and eat together. And that means, right, and sometimes stuff has to marinate. Exactly. So what does that mean? That means different states, even different districts, are going to be in different stages of their cooking, of their prep. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, William. Right? Right, Sam, you can't microwave this shit. Y'all know there is absolutely nothing you can microwave that tastes like a home-cooked meal. There ain't nothing like it. And do you know what's crazy about the process? I want y'all to think about what it's like when you get together for the holidays. And the process is irritating, isn't it? Because you got too many people in the kitchen. You mad because somebody wants to do this one. Somebody got in the way while you was cutting up the potatoes. Somebody else was doing whatever, right? And you have all those things that are happening at the same time. You're like, who was supposed to bring the ice? Don't let so-and-so cook the this and the that, right? right? But when it comes time to sit at the table, when it comes time to sit at the table with all the members of the family, it's all worth it. When you look from one end to the other, and then when you look over at the kids' table, because you know they eat at a different table, right? From Big Mama to the babies, it all comes together. It's all worth it. Exactly. Now, when is the only other time that that happens, y'all? When is the only other time that that happens? At funerals. So we can either come together and cook. We can either come together and cook so that we can all eat, or we can come together when we are at the funeral for this country. You choose. That's the fucking choice right now. That is the choice right now. You either get your ass in the kitchen and cook, or you can come back to Big Mama's house for her funeral. And that will be Lady Democracy. Girl, I'm just talking, Jules. I'm just talking. So, those are your choices, folks. And I talk about this frequently. Y'all know how you got the one cousin at one point in time that get themselves out of whack, and you tell your other cousin, take so and so outside and get his ass together. Y'all know that? Right? Anybody ever you take somebody outside and get their ass together and then come back in the house when you got it together? Some of y'all need to take your friends out the house and get them all the way together. Don't you bring that nonsense up in here. You better go outside and walk it off. Yeah, I got you, Sandra. Good morning, cuz. So this is where we are, folks. Yeah, I can't do it. Here's my thing. I can't do all the negativity and the name calling or whatever. Because if I do that, I don't have the energy to do work. If I do that, I don't have the energy or the effort, right, to get behind and make things happen. Y'all listen, there are some creators that I like, and I think they're smart, and I think they're whatever. And I don't sit in their lives. And I don't go in their life. If I do go in their lives, I'm only in there for 5 to 10 minutes. And then I leave. And that's because I can't do the name calling. I can't do even if you're talking shit about people who are horrible people, I still can't do it. It's just too much negativity. It bogs me down. And then I can't get shit done. That's why y'all be like, did you see so and so, so and so? I ain't seen shit. Nope. Nope. I've been too busy focusing on what we can create together. I've been too busy thinking about how we can do things to come out victorious on the other side. I've been too busy planning and plotting, planning my work so we can work the plan. Good morning, Jamie. And it makes me excited. You guys, we are in a position. Oh, thanks, Brandy. We are in a position to really, like, before it was like, sure, we can flip the House. Not really sure about that damn Senate, though. And all of a sudden, the Senate looks like a possibility. All of a sudden, the Senate is in play. And y'all know Steve Bannon scared to death of that shit. He said, we all going to jail, including me. Ain't that what Steve said? Yeah. Steve said, we got to win, y'all, or we all going to jail. Listen, that's going to be their motivation. Their motivation is to stay the fuck out of jail. What's yours? What is your motivation? Their motivation is stay out of prison. What's yours? And if you don't know, you might want to find it. You might want to find it. Okay, and if that is yours, if that's your driver, so let me just say this. Okay, so let me just tell y'all this. Some of y'all immediately said, what motivates me is to put them in jail. So that means you are being motivated by somebody else's punishment. That doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is the idea of universal health care. What motivates me is women being able to access medical care when they need it. What motivates me is individuals having autonomy over their bodies. What motivates me is schools that teach, accurate history and are inclusive. And like, I get excited at the idea of what we can create. I get excited about what we can create. Exactly. Getting the ERA put into the Constitution. Accountability is good, right? But so follow me. Accountability is part of the plan, right? But accountability isn't the end all be all. Accountability isn't the thing that makes me wake up in the morning. We will do both, but accountability will be the byproduct. Accountability will be the byproduct. Accountability will be the fucking cherry on top that has to occur because we're doing all of the other things. I'm just saying. All right. Like, right, Scotty, leaving it better than when we came. 100%. All right. So let me tell you something. Everybody was so happy about about Tillis and what he said to Christy Nome. The reason why I didn't get overly excited about it is because he's buckled. When he had the opportunity to do the right thing for the people, he's buckled. He's left the people high and dry. Based on his past ability, I know, but so like, and I hear you when you say it was funny and all of that, but I guess for me, I'm just tired of like, ooh, he told her. Don't fucking tell her, do something that fixes things. Hey, Hussein. All right, Clarice, sounds good. Right, Crystal and 10. Don't talk about it, be about it. Meanwhile, he's 100% supportive of what's happening in Iran. right? Good morning, Deb. Y'all, we have unalived over 1,000 people in Iran in a matter of days. And 175 of those were elementary children because we hit a school. I don't know how people can celebrate the loss of life. And even Iranians are saying, yeah, we want the regime to fall, but we don't want to unalive in the process. You know? And hold on a second. Bella's teacher's messaging me. One second. Okay. She's good. Yeah, folks, listen. Um, I just I really want to be clear about something. We What we are doing in Iran has never been successful. And the last time we entered into the Middle East and said we were going to be there for a few weeks, we were there for 9 years. I just want to be clear about that. The last time we entered into the Middle East and we put boots on and we said it was going to be a few weeks, it was 9 years. And I also want to remind you all, I really do want to remind you that all of this is intentional. The Trump administration, the Heritage Foundation, JD Vance, all of those individuals, they have said from the beginning that the place that they want to take us is going to hurt for a while. I really do want you all to understand. They have said that the place that they want to take us is going to hurt. And they're talking about regular people hurting as a result. JD Vance said that when he wrote the foreword to Kevin Roberts' book. He said in plain English directly that the people were going to have to suffer for a little bit to get where they want to take us. And where they want to take us is not for the regular people. Where they want to take us is for the billionaires and the centimillionaires. It has nothing to do with what's best for the American people. Good morning, Mary Esther. Salam, Hamza. Yeah, Elon said it too, but Elon's not in the administration. I need because people think that it is just Trump, and they need to understand that it isn't just Trump. It is Trump, and it is JD Vance, and it is the entire administration and the people that back them. They want you apathetic. They want you apathetic about voting. They want you apathetic about getting involved in government. They want you apathetic. They want you to stop fighting. They want you to just stop and say, oh, it's useless. And you must not. You must not. You know, so when I think about what is happening. The fact that, so I don't know, good morning, Colleen. I don't know how many of you all know this, but Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna, they have put together another that war powers solution. How many of you all know that there are other Democrats that have an alternative solution to the War Powers Act that says Trump can keep this going, but it can't go any farther than 30 days? So the War Powers Act says that Trump can't get any funding, anything. He cannot authorize anything else in Iran until it goes through Congress, because they're going to need funding for this. They're going to need funding. They're going to need money allocated. And so Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey have put together the War Powers Resolution. And then there's another section of Democrats that have put together an alternative that gives him 30 days, that he can't go further than 30 days. This is the problem. You think that you can negotiate with Trump, and you cannot. If you give him 30 days, he will go longer. He is not the child that will take a little bit. If you give a little bit, he goes all the fucking way. And every single person should know this by now, because we've seen it demonstrated in the first administration and this administration. They can't even tell us what the end objective is. They can't even tell us what the objective is. Like, what does success look like? And when you say, oh, well, success is making sure that they are no longer a threat to anyone else in the region, well, you already said that you obliterated their nuclear capacity. So what the fuck? I thought you already did that. What's up, cool cat? And so, in my opinion, the reason the United States of America cannot give a solid reason, like one solid reason as to why we attacked, or give us what the definition of success is because this is not our war. In order for Donald Trump to be able to tell us why we attacked when we did, and to tell us what is going to be success and when we can stop, he has to ask Bibi Netanyahu. He's got to fucking ask Bibi. That's why he can't answer the question. He got to go ask, because this isn't our war. He has to go ask Bibi. And in the meantime, Iranian people are being unalived. Let me say this. The President of the United States is a war criminal. Even if the ICC has not issued a warrant, by definition, based on the actions that we have taken, that's what we are. And all of a sudden, nobody gives a damn about gas prices. All of a sudden, nobody gives a damn about gas prices. By the way, oil is up to $80 a barrel. It's back up to $80 a barrel now. That's what it was in 2022, guys, 2021, 2022. Just so that you all know that. Good morning, Sage. The other thing that I want to share with you all is yesterday morning, I was listening to NPR, and they had on the spokesperson for the foreign ministry in Qatar. Did anybody else hear this interview yesterday morning? Anybody else? No? Okay. So let me share this with you. Because, Qatar is an ally. Eric, you did? Okay. So Qatar is considered to be an ally of ours. They are also kind of the peacekeepers or the negotiators in the Middle East, right? So, for example, when Hamas and Israel have talks, they meet in Qatar, and they participate and they facilitate those talks. And the things that he said were just awesome. So, first of all, he was not happy because Iran had tried to attack Qatar, and Qatar had shot down their missiles. And so she was asking, is Qatar going to respond and also attack Iran? And he said that question is with leadership right now in this moment. They are determining what they're going to do. And he also said Qatar reserves the right to defend itself and respond and retaliate because our sovereignty has been threatened. So I don't know that we're going to do that, but we reserve the right to do that, right? Hey, Lynn. He said, but Qatar has always said, and Qatar says today, that the only path forward, the only way that we have progress in the Middle East is at the table through discussions. And he said, he was asked, did they get advance notice? Did the United States of America give them notice that the US and Israel was going to attack Iran? And he said, no, we got no warning whatsoever, right? He said, we got no warning whatsoever. And then, because, Qatar was involved in the talks with Iran. And he said, you guys were, and she asked the question, you guys were involved in the talks with Iran, all of that. She said, it sounded like there was progress. There was going to be a deal with regard to arms and things like that. And so she said, so what happened? What prompted the attack from the United States and Israel on Iran? And he said, that would be a question for the American government. That would be a question for the US. We do not know the answer to that question. We don't know why the US did that. He said, but what I will tell you is what we said before, and it still holds true to this day. He said, just like when Israel was attacking Palestine and they were bombing Gaza, he said, we told the world, we told the West that if Israel was allowed to do that unchecked, they would not stop and it would lead to further war and disruption in the Middle East. He said, and that is exactly what has happened because it went unchecked. And now this is where we are today. And so he was talking about the fact that if this goes unchecked, it will also escalate other things because eventually it will impact the other Arab nations. And he said Qatar supplies 20% of the world's natural gas. Did y'all know that? Qatar provides 20% of the world's natural gas. I just, folks, when they are talking about what we will have facing us, if this goes longer, if we put boots on the ground, you are talking about massive disruption. And this is on top of, we are in a season where regular gas, not natural gas, but we are in a season where regular gas prices automatically go up. They go up for summer because summer fuel is more expensive to make, right? So summer fuel is more expensive to make. So they raise the prices so that consumers cover that cost. And now, on top of that, you're going to see those prices along with prices that are now $80 a barrel. Everyone should be concerned about this. Everyone should be concerned about this. And you should be concerned about it along with everything else. When they fuck around with that straight and we fuck up supply chain, and I don't know if you all heard this or not. But Donald Trump said to these other countries who said that they are not going to bring their ships through the strait, Donald Trump has offered our Navy vessels. Donald Trump has offered our Navy vessels to escort these other countries' ships through the strait. I'm sorry, what? So you want to risk the lives of our Navy personnel to escort other people through the strait? He surely did. Right. And we don't have unlimited resources. One of the estimates that came out yesterday was that this could cost the American people $210 billion with a B. Our deficit has gone through the fucking roof under this administration. They are burning through money like they got their damn granddaddy's inheritance and they ain't got nothing to lose. Yeah, they are. They are bankrupting the damn country. And just so everybody gets it, they took money from your Medicaid. They took money from your SNAP. They took money from those programs to give millionaires and centimillionaires tax cuts. What are they going to cut now to pay for a war that nobody wants us to be in? What are you willing to lose for the Greater Israel Project? Because that's what this is about in the Middle East. That is what this is about in the Middle East. Right, but transgender mice. Right. Right. Um, I want to pull something up for you guys. Give me 1 second. All right. So I am looking for Hold on. Give me a second. I need this this one page. Sorry guys. Give me 1 second. I want well, hell. Thank you. Holy shit. I was like, can I just get what I want? It didn't want to give me what I wanted, guys. Sorry for a second. It did not want to give me what I wanted. And I don't know why this page is not loading. You should load. See, I don't be trusting the government sites when I'm trying to go somewhere to a page that I know that I've been to get the data that I want. And now it's all of a sudden not there. I feel some kind of way. I feel some kind of way, y'all. When it doesn't load. I feel some kind of way. Right. I'm just saying, Maria. Yeah. So right now we're sitting at $74.40 per barrel. Per barrel right now. To give you an idea, in May of 2022, it got up to 114 a barrel. In December of 2021, in the middle of C19, it was $75 a barrel. And it is for today. So that gives you a comparison. December of 2021, it was $75 a barrel. And today, it is $74 a barrel. $74.40, as a matter of fact. No, Marilyn, Jasmine didn't win. James Tallarico did. Yeah, the thing is, Veronica, but they don't even know what it would mean to be the hero. They are creating a shit ton of crises, but they're not doing anything to be the hero. How could you be the hero in this situation? I don't know that there is a way. We don't even know what that looks like when it comes to Iran. And as a result, Americans are going to pay the price. On top of tariffs, trade is going to be affected. Global supply chains are going to be interrupted and disrupted. Marky, but when you say he seems to be a centrist, can you share with me what his voting record is that makes you say that? Because from everything that I've seen, his voting record, he's been progressive. All right. So she conceded to James Tallarico 44 minutes ago. The Hill put out an article She conceded to James Tallarico on Wednesday, pledging to support his bid for the first statewide win for the party in decades. Quote, and this is what I'm going to read to you her statement. Okay. I'm going to read to you her statement. She said, quote, this morning I called James and congratulated him on becoming the Senate nominee. Texas is primed to turn blue and we must remain united because this is bigger than any one person. This is about the future of all 30 million Texans and getting America back on track. With the primary behind us, Democrats must rally around our nominees and win. I'm committed to doing my part and will continue working to elect Democrats up and down the ballot. Because she knows the assignment. She knows the assignment. And the assignment is Democratic majorities in Congress for the midterms. She understands that. She understands that, folks. So it's really important for people to know that. I don't know that it affects the lawsuit at all, right? She can still question what happened in terms of how the election was held and this, that, and the other, you know? So this is wild. I don't know that it matters whether or not she thinks it's fair what Paxton did. I don't know that it matters. And it's so this is the thing that I keep saying to you all. We have to stop going, oh, well, that's not right and that's not fair. Okay, but that doesn't change what we got to do. And so instead of being focused on what's not fair and what's not right, I am more interested in I'm more interested in putting the effort into achieving the outcomes that we desire. That's just the part. Like that has to be the focus, folks. It has to be the focus. So, and I want to just point something out to you guys on TikTok. If you all saw, there was an individual in the chat that did their level best to get my attention. She commented on Women's History Month and self-made billionaires who were women. She made statements about, I think women should have their right to vote stripped away. I think gerrymandering should happen in Texas and all the Democrats be kicked out. Did you all see all of those comments? She worked really hard to get my attention. And when she didn't get my attention, she left. She, him, them, they, whoever the fuck it was. This is why I say don't engage with them when they say really dumb shit. They are saying it to get a reaction from you. When they come in here and they say dumb shit about Jasmine, they are saying it to get a reaction from you. Don't give it to them. Stop being played. I didn't even look, purse mouth. I just was like, damn, you're trying real hard. They did follow me though. They did follow me though. But I'm not giving my energy to it. We got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger things to focus on. We got more to do. Right? So we've got a lot of things that we are going to be focused on, right? Right, Jody. Jody said one of the most difficult things I've learned to do is to ignore them. 100%. 100%. as Sunday approaches, I get more and more excited. Red Hot, it tickles me too. That's what I said. They have Dani derangement syndrome. They follow me and then they set their notifications to know when I go live. I don't know if y'all saw a minute ago, but Jake brought his ass back in here. And Kenneth too. Jake and Kenneth came up in here too. They have Dani derangement syndrome. Blessed is right. Yes, Jake and Kenneth. It's just hilarious to me. Right. I hate you. What time tomorrow? Exactly, purse mouth. That part. I hate you. You damn liberals. Y'all are just horrible. I'll see you tomorrow. 100%. Okay, so I do want to talk about oh, thank you, Sage, for the butterfly. So I also want to remind everyone that Gaza is still happening. Israel is still attacking Gaza. It is still Ramadan. People are still struggling. I will tell you this: Mo was able to take the money that that we donated and get 50 chickens for folks for chickens for 50 families in Gaza, which is amazing. So let me give you a couple of things. The Iran's unaliving toll is 1,045. Turkey says that that a missile was destroyed in the Eastern Mediterranean. Qatar firmly rejects Iran's claim that Tehran targeted only U.S. interests in the Gulf state. Qatar said, no, you attacked us too, right? There are civilians that are fleeing Iran and gathering at the Turkish border gate. Just so we were just talking about the affordability, right? We were just talking about affordability, and this is a new update. Yes, which I'm going to do that today. Sandy, which can you tell Sandy? She sent me a link to a document, but the document that she sent the link to me from, it doesn't. I don't have access to it, so she needs to change the settings so that I have access to it. Yeah, so Qatar doesn't consider themselves an American interest. They are sovereign and by themselves. Okay, Lulu Bell. It doesn't say, Tina. But just so that you all know, oil tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz is down 90%. 90% of the oil tanker traffic through the strait is down. Yes, I have that, which I have them ready, and I was going to do them yesterday until that stuff happened with Bella. Also, you all know that we sank a warship, right? What's down? The oil tanker traffic through the strait. 90% of the oil tanker traffic through the strait is stopped, is non-existent. And then Donald Trump said, "Oh, well, listen, we can have our Navy ships escort you all through the strait if you want." So he's volunteering our military to he's volunteering our military to provide oil tanker, right? Just gonna say, oh, it's gonna affect everybody. Invisible string, everybody. So, but the warship that we sunk that belonged to Iran off of Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka actually says it recovered several bodies and rescued 32 wounded sailors. So, okay, hold on. I need to open this up. Couple of things that, yeah, 100%. On to November too. Exactly. Hold on. I needed to also pull up this thing. Give me a second. It will be interesting to see what happens, um, because China and Israel and Russia both. Um, yeah, no, he said that our Navy could escort oil tankers through the strait. Yes. Um, Holy fuck. See, this is what I get for reading comments. I forgot what it was now. So it's not about whether our Navy is there or not there. That's not what it's about, Trucker. Are you a veteran, Trucker? He said, "Oh, they can because our Navy is already there." That's not the point. That's not the point. I don't know if they are headed that way or not. So, and just to kind of, I don't know if you all know this or not, but China and Russia have also entered the chat and condemned the attacks on Iran. It will be interesting to see what happens. It's 11 a.m. What happens if this continues? I don't think that people really understand how delicate this situation is. And we don't have the capacity to take on everybody else. We do not have the capacity to take on everyone, y'all. We don't. And the reality is that I, I just want to say something. If you let me, okay, some of y'all might be mad. Just pretend like it's nighttime and it's Dani after dark. But let me just say this: if you are supporting these actions against Iran, if you are supporting and acting like us attacking another country because we don't like their leadership, and we are saying that we will only stop when they no longer have the ability to defend themselves, and then we determine what regime they need. Not only are you a nationalist, but I would bet money you come from a place of privilege. If you think that it is right for the United States of America to determine the autonomy and determine the direction of another country, you're a colonizer. That's what you are. You're a colonizer. It's not our place to determine what's best for other people in other countries. We don't have the right to do that. We don't have the right to do that. And we don't do that in Western countries. We don't. It has always been the West that believes they know what's best for Black and Brown countries. It is a racist sentiment that no longer applies. and is not adequate for the times. White people do not know what's best for everyone else. And the culture of white families, and your family dynamic, and um, the way that you run things that you believe to civilize does not does not apply to everyone else. People can live many, many different ways, and it is still civilized. Good morning, Carl. Just to be clear, and you can get mad at me if you would like to. The thing about it is that's accurate, historically speaking. Okay. So you might want to check yourself if you find yourself defending the actions of this country and defending the actions of Israel against Iran, right? You have a privileged colonizing mindset. That's what you have. You don't get to determine other people what's best for everybody else. You don't see us attacking Hungary. What does Viktor Orban do to the people in Hungary? What does Viktor Orban do to the people of Hungary? But you don't see us going over there, do you? Nope. The only countries that Western countries believe they have the authority and the right to just run over are Black and brown countries. You can say you don't, you can say whatever, but the facts back that up. It is true. Right. Donald Trump refers to them as shithole countries. Yeah. And the thing about it is that that time, that era is over. That time and that era is over. That's why you see African countries saying, fuck no, you can't come here. You see African countries that have said, no, thank you, France. We're tired of you. No more. Africa has said, you know what? We will start to manufacture our own things. We're not going to pump out our resources for you to make the materials for us to have to buy them back from you. No, thank you. We're not going to give you the stuff to make what you need and then have to buy it back from you. They said, you know what? We'll just start investing in our own infrastructure and our own manufacturing because we have the resources. That's what's happening in Africa right now. Sure is. What is the United States of America going to do if China decides they are no longer going to give us the key components that we need for antibiotics or the minerals that we need for some of our weapons? You do know that, right? You know that for some of our military weapons, we actually get the materials from China. Salam Abu Siraj. You all know that? We don't have it, bad guy. You can't produce something that you don't have. Our land doesn't fucking have it. It's a resource. It is a natural resource. If it ain't in the ground, you can't make it be there. there are things that we do not have. Hold on, I'm gonna give it to you. Give me a second. Yeah. So it's called rare earth elements like gallium and germanium. They are vital for our F-35 fighter jets and missiles and guidance systems. 85% of global rare earth refining is done in China, which creates a dependency for 78% of our defense weapons. Let me say that again. Rare earth elements, 85% of the refining is done in China. That makes us dependent for 78% of our defense weapons on China. So, bad guy, does that clarify it for you? So, I'll give you just a couple of articles, okay? Just so that you know. So I'm going to give you several different sources, okay? Are you ready? So one is from the Modern War Institute. The other is from the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The third is for War on the Rocks, and the fourth is from it's a Yahoo article that was originally done by CNW Group. Okay, that nationalist bullshit is gonna get y'all fucked up. So, so minerals, magnets, and military capability. China's rare earth weaponization should be a wake-up call. This article is from July of last year. So when China imposed export controls on 7 of the 17 rare earth minerals in April of 2025, it wasn't just a trade policy tweak. It was a shot across the bow of the U.S. defense industrial base. American fighter jets, our satellites, our guided missiles, and our submarines all rely on high performance magnets that are built with rare earth minerals like neodymium, samarium, whatever they are. And they were already doing prohibitions on gallium and germanium, which are foundational to infrared optics and radar systems. These materials are overwhelmingly Chinese controlled, processed, and manufactured. 78% of US defense systems rely on China. China refines, just listen, China refines over 85% of the world's rare earth minerals and produces nearly 90% of high performance rare earth magnets. That means US weapon systems, from F-35s and Virginia class submarines to hypersonic weapon systems and precision guidance munitions, are all critically dependent on materials from strategic rivals. Exotic minerals are no longer just for the green revolution. This is about the United States and its allies having the raw materials needed to sustain a future war. Just so that you understand. Watch this. Because y'all just don't listen. Yeah. So I don't think that you all understand how this works. If we could manufacture it, we would. We don't have the manufacturing systems to do it, nor do we have the ability to create them. What is the remedy? The remedy is stop picking fucking fights with people. That's the remedy, is stop fucking starting wars, stop using tariffs as a threat with people, and have good trade relationships with people around the world. That's the remedy. And then as you do that, you can slowly build up a place to become less dependent on other countries, because you understand that you are not going to go from being 80% dependent on another country to being not dependent on another country in fucking 30 days. That's what would be a remedy. And that's before we even talk about our medications and our antibiotics and our prescription. It's just before we ever even talk about that. If you don't understand that when it comes to our medications, when it comes to our antibiotics, 90% of that shit is also processed and comes from China. Hella, 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 Raja. So while the president of the United States is busy talking shit and calling people names and using tariffs as a war, our literal health and ability to defend ourselves is dependent upon other countries. Yeah, we don't have a replacement trucker. That's the point. Yeah, Raja, I'm good. That's the literal point. And then I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but India just struck other countries. What do you mean, trucker? India just struck the largest trade deal with the EU. It will encompass 2 billion people. India did that trade deal with the EU. China just did a trade deal with Canada. We are not the only game in town. And China is in a position to do that. I don't think you understand. Yes, China has made statements about this mess. Russia and China condemned the US and Israel. Um, China condemned the US and Israel's attack on Iran. So let me just stop for a second, folks. Stop for a second. Ugh. So first, understand this. Guess what the EU just said this last month in February? So the EU just said that by 2028, they will have invested in their defense as much as the US spent in their defense last year. So what does that mean? That means the EU is going to need more rare earth minerals manufactured and processed than they have in the past, right? If the EU is now going to step up their own investment, their own production, their own defense systems, then they are going to become a larger market for China and India, which is why they struck the damn deal that they struck with India. Folks, we are literally cutting off our relationships with everybody all at the same time, which is why they made the deals with India that they did. And if all of those countries cash in their US Treasury bonds, we are fucked. And they are all building new relationships. Just so you all get it. More people are leaving the United States of America than ever in history. Buenos dias, Mr. Barrios. Okay, so China has led major nations in reducing U.S. debt holdings, cutting its stash by $86 billion between November 2024 and November 2025 to diversify its portfolio. While China, Russia, and India have reduced their holdings, just so you know, I don't know why y'all don't know that. Countries, so just for the person in the comments who said that you can't cash them in until they come due, you're wrong. Foreign countries can cash in their US Treasury bonds at any time. They are highly liquid, tradable assets. And as the value of the dollar declines, they are more likely to do that. So, just so you know. So, yeah, he wants a weak dollar, 100%. So, when we talk about what is happening everywhere, y'all need to pay attention. The United States of America is not invincible. I don't know why you all think that it is. Y'all are literally drinking the Kool-Aid. Y'all have bought into America is the greatest country in the world without understanding exactly what that means and what it doesn't mean. So, I mean, I want to give you an article from 2 days ago. Give me 1 second. Listen to this. China's rare earth grip on the U.S. military. Oof. Hold on a second. So, guess what company, guess which company is actually stepping up the processing of rare earth minerals? Just take a guess, you guys. Guess which company has a new high-tech plant of engineers and chemists that are processing the rare earth minerals? Guess what country? Guess what country is doing it? Y'all, I said country. Why are y'all naming? Why are y'all naming companies? I said country. The fuck? It's been China. Guess who it is now? Stop for a second. Y'all not listening. I said company. Shit. So wait, hold on. Wait, listen. Stop. So they have a new company. There is a new company that is being built. It is a high-tech company of engineers and chemists. In what country? There's a country that has made this company. And that country is now going to be able to do some of the processing that China has been doing. It's Canada. It's Canada. Mark Carney is not fucking around, y'all. It is Canada. Yep. It's being built around an AI-enabled operating system that minimizes waste, reduces exposure to hazardous materials, and creates a cleaner, more secure processing chain. And one company has locked in exclusive rights to the vast majority of what that plant produces. That is revenue for China, for Canada. That is revenue for Canada. I don't think y'all get it. Oh, la, 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 la. So I really want you guys, yeah, China and Canada just made a brand new trade deal together. China and Canada just made a new trade deal together, and Canadians can now go to China without a visa. And if you all think that it's so easy to manufacture and refine these things, you are mistaken. The US has little to no active domestic production of refined high purity gallium. I want to, let me just give you this. Listen, when it comes to gallium, which is one of the ones that we are totally dependent upon China for, listen to this. The US is 100% dependent on imports for gallium, with China controlling the vast majority of the global market. Although trace amounts exist in US zinc and coal residues, they're not currently recovered, which is a 100% net import reliance. So you can't start refining shit that you're not even producing, that you're not even recovering. I just wish you all understood and stopped acting like the United States of America is invincible when we're not. And folks, other countries have been planning for this moment since the first Trump administration. Did y'all hear me? Other countries have been planning for this moment since the first Trump administration. It's why it's so critical for us to have a Congress that is separate but equal and will stand up to the Trump administration. It's critical. I can't stress it enough. This isn't about whether you like Democrats or Republicans. It's about who is going to be in office and who is going to be able to be completely separate and independent and do what is best for the country as a whole. Not running on ego, not running this country like a fucking frat house. Y'all, I really want you all to understand this, okay? Even even some of Donald Trump's closest friends talk about him and they will say, Donald's up and down. Like he can be friends with you one day and hate you the next. It just depends on what he wants from you and what he can get from you at any given time. These are from people who've known him forever. Tucker Carlson talks about him. Piers Morgan talks about him. Lots of people that have been friends with him for a long time tell you that his relationships are transactional. It is literally dependent upon how he feels in that day and what he wants from you and what he doesn't want from you. So that means there's no loyalty. There's no honoring of relationships. Other countries would be idiots to trust us. Other countries would be idiotic to believe anything that our commander-in-chief says. And they don't believe him. They know better. And they've said it. If you watch what's happening in other cabinet meetings and sessions and legislatures all around the world, they are saying the same things. They don't. They don't trust us at all. The other world leaders are having conversations with Gavin Newsom and other countries other than us. Like, that just is what it is. So this is why it is so critical to be focused on the actual work and the plan. This is why. The UN feels this way. I'm telling you all, they are literally talking about restructuring how the UN is set up. These are no small feats. Do you all realize that the reason we haven't had a third world war is because of our relationships with other countries? No, trucker, that's not what I mean. Keep thinking that It's all about, so this new deal between the EU and India will account for 25% of the global GDP. Let me say that again. The new trade deal between India and the EU will account for 25% of the global GDP. Let me show you. Just give me a second. Let me see if it's this one or not. So this is right before she went. India is a country of 2 billion people. Yes. Hold on. Yeah. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. It is 25% of the global GDP. So give me a second, because y'all don't believe fat meat's greasy and shit stinks, but it does. It absolutely does. This is her full speech. Hold on. I'm going to let you hear it. Come on, please.
Dear Prime Minister Modi, distinguished friend, Antonio, my friend, ministers, especially Shankar and Guyal, Vice President Kallas, Commissioner Šefčovič, Excellencies, friends, thank you very much for the exceptional hospitality we experienced. It was such an honor for us to be your chief guests at the Republic Day yesterday. This is a memory I will carry for a lifetime, because the sense of communion was so powerful. People filled the streets united in pride and joy of belonging to the Indian nation, and rightfully so. India has risen, and Europe is truly glad about it, because when India succeeds, the world is more stable, more prosperous, and more secure. And we all benefit. Prime Minister Modi, dear friend, 1 year ago the full College of Commissioners came to India. You mentioned it. And this is also a very special memory for me. It showed the seriousness of our intent and the strength of our commitment. Today we reap the fruits of that commitment with our historic summit. And let me start with trade. Prime Minister, distinguished friend, we did it. We delivered the mother of all deals. We are creating a market of 2 billion people. And this is the tale of two giants, the world's second and fourth largest economies. Two giants who choose partnership in a true win-win fashion.
The second and fourth largest economy.
A strong message that cooperation is the best answer to global challenges. This trade will integrate further our supply chain and strengthen our joint manufacturing power. It will cut up to 4 billion euros in annual tariffs for exporters of all sizes. And it will create good jobs for millions of workers here in India and in Europe. At the same time, this agreement will build on the natural complementarity of our economies. It brings together Indian skills, services and scale, with Europe's technology, capital and innovation. It will create levels of growth that neither side can achieve alone. And by combining these strengths, we reduce strategic dependencies at a time when trade is increasingly weaponized. We will discuss this and more at our first EU-India Business Forum.
I got to stop right there, because if you missed what she said, that was a shot at us. That was a shot at the United States. What she said is that it reduces our dependencies on other countries at a time when trade is being weaponized. That was us. In case you didn't get that shit, that was us. So just listen. Y'all keep want to fucking around and find out. Here we go.
Complementarity of our economies. It brings together Indian skills, services and scale with Europe's technology, capital and innovation. It will create levels of growth that neither side can achieve alone. And by combining these strengths, we reduce strategic dependencies at a time when trade is increasingly weaponized. We will discuss this and more at our first EU-India Business Forum later today. I want to offer a special word of thanks to the people who worked so hard to make this day a reality. Starting with the European Union's Trade Commissioner Maroš Šefčovič and his counterpart, India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal. You have done an outstanding work. This is historic, and it would not have been possible without you. I also want to pay tribute to their colleagues, Sabine Weyand and Secretary Rajesh Agrawal. Many others made vital contributions. I congratulate you all. The hard work was worth it. Prime Minister, distinguished friend, we're not only making our economy stronger, we're also delivering security for our people in an increasingly insecure world. And today, the world's two largest economies and democracies launch their first ever security and defense partnership. This is a landmark departure and a trust-based.
All right, here's the defense part of it. Are you listening? Listen. Y'all got to finish listening to what she's telling you, because here comes some more. Hold on, just listen.
Economy stronger. We are also delivering security for our people in an increasingly insecure world. And today, the world's two largest economies and democracies launch their first ever security and defense partnership.
Security and defense.
This is a landmark departure and a trust-based platform for cooperation on the strategic issues that matter most. In doing so, we will help to build each other's resilience. Europe and India have a long history of cooperation in the defense industry. Now we will enhance this teamwork even further. We will deepen our cooperation on maritime security, for example, joint naval exercises to tackle piracy. And we will step up our work on countering cyber and hybrid threats, which are getting more sophisticated by the day. And our partnership includes a dedicated dialogue on space security, from situational awareness to secure connectivity, and stronger cooperation on counterterrorism. Finally, we are launching negotiations on a security of information agreement. Europe and India have chosen to be reliable partners to one another, and this is how we demonstrate the trust we share. Prime Minister Modi, distinguished friend, I want to turn to innovation, because here too we share core values The freedom of research and science is paramount for us. Europe and India will always choose science. We will always choose progress, the way forward. We will always choose technology at the service of our people. It's part of who we are.
Our people.
And our cooperation on human-centric, trustworthy artificial intelligence is one of the best examples. So today I'm glad to announce that we are working on India's association with Horizon Europe. Backed by funding firepower of 100 billion euros, Horizon is the world's largest public research program. And I can't wait for our best talents to get to work to advance health, clean energy, frontier technologies, just to name some. We will set up EU-India innovation hubs. This will help researchers and startups to collaborate on next-generation technology. And we are also launching the EU-India Startup Partnership to boost co-creation and high-potential ventures. Finally, Prime Minister Dear Narendra, we both know our greatest wealth are our people. That is why I'm so glad that we are signing an agreement on mobility. We will facilitate the movement of students, researchers, seasonal and highly skilled workers. And this is also why we are launching the first EU Legal Gateway Office in India. It will be a one-stop hub to support Indian talent moving to Europe in full alignment with...
They are putting an EU easy immigration facility in India so that Indian talent can go to that one facility in India, get everything done, and be on a legal pathway to be able to go to the EU. Fuck. I didn't even hear that part yet, but I did now. So here we go. Here's the rest.
The first EU Legal Gateway Office in India. It will be a one-stop hub to support Indian talent moving to Europe in full alignment with EU member states' needs and policies. This is good for our economies. This is good for the friendship between our people. And this openness benefits us all. As we conclude this 16th summit, let me reflect on another event of deep meaning. 2 weeks ago, India marked Makar Sankranti. It's the beginning of Uttarayan, the sun's northward journey. From darkness to light, from stillness to growth, from what was to what can be. And that is what makes our...
The chuckle that you hear is actually the leader of India, because she is pronouncing an Indian tradition and she's honoring it. And so if you had seen her, she's making sure that she articulates what it is. She makes sure that she pronounced it correctly. She's telling people what it stands for. She is showing them that she acknowledges their culture and who they are, and that she honors it. She respects it. We have a president that can't pronounce what fucking... she's looking at him as she says these things, and he's chuckling because she's getting it right. And it's a good thing.
From what was to what can be. And that is what makes our summit so unique and timely. The time is right for renewal, for fresh momentum, and for opening a new chapter in EU-India friendship. And this is exactly what we have achieved together today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam.
Y'all, if you don't hear what I'm telling you, it will account for 25% of the global GDP. And that's just the trade partnership. They have done an immigration partnership. They have done an education and information sharing partnership. They have done a security and defense partnership. And I want you all to remember that this is what Mark Carney was talking about when he said when the middle countries band together, they can accomplish what they couldn't, not being number one. And when she said, we are number 2 and number 4 in terms of the global economies, and we have now put them in a position to accomplish together what we could not accomplish alone. I just really, this is not the time for Americans to be like so self-centered that we don't understand what's going on globally. We do not exist in and of ourselves. We do not exist all by ourselves. And we cannot. No matter what you think, we cannot. Let me give you, hold on. So I also want to give you another one. Carney also signed a trade deal with India and did a speech 2 days ago. So let me give you the speech from Mark Carney. That's India and the EU, and now India has done a trade deal with Canada. So here we go. Oh, it's bad. Hold on, guys. So I'm going to share this one with you. This is Mark Carney talking about the deal that he has done with India for Canada. And remember, he's also done a deal with China. So just listen while you keep thinking we're whatever. And if y'all don't know, Mark Carney ran the fucking banks and the economy for Canada for years. That's where he comes from. This man knows money in a successful way. Not, oh, I made 6 companies go bankrupt and then I just bought other people's things and put my name on them. Okay? He's incredibly smart. When you all don't understand, when India has trade deals with the EU and Canada has trade deals with India and China, all 4 of those countries become less dependent on the United States of America. All 4 of them. And all 4 of them are significant. China, India, and the EU are part of the top 5 in terms of GDP. Here we go. Oh, hold on. This one.
Thank you very much, Honourable Prime Minister Modi, colleagues, ministerial colleagues, dear friends, Premier Mo, CEOs of the business community. I'm going to say a few formal words, but I want to respond a bit to the very good guidance from the CEOs, because that's the spirit of this forum. The first is I want to reiterate my deep personal appreciation to you, Prime Minister, for your hospitality, your leadership, your engagement, and your example And I give the point, we were talking about this earlier today, the importance, and actually, John, I'm picking up at the end of your remarks, which is it is very important in steering governments and countries to have agreements such as we have today, MOUs, letters of intent, intentions to have the CEPA Accord signed by the end of this year. That's absolutely important. What is even more important is the execution following those agreements and making sure that they're implemented, and then, of course, that stakeholders in the private sector, in philanthropy, third sectors, researchers, our universities can move forward. And the example of you, Prime Minister, in ensuring implementation, doing the work, following up, making sure that this happens. And I want to underscore that that's what today is about. It's the scale of the partnership, but it is the commitment to implement all aspects of the partnership. And because of those of you in the room who you represent, and those of you not in the room, in the business sector, other stakeholders, large and small, to have the enthusiasm and the direction from this partnership, much more will be done. So we're determined to make it easier to do business between our countries. The visa example is one example which we're taking back into Canada to work on and to make sure. We're committed to more than double our trade by 2030. But our ambition stretches well beyond that. It does stretch to investment, long-term investment, infrastructure investment here and in both our countries. It extends to financial innovation, and I'm glad, picking up on something that you discussed this morning and is embedded in our agreements, financial innovation, financial payments innovation led by India, UPI applications in Canada, cross-border, and the linkages between our economies as a consequence. Huge potential for cooperation in energy. And let's learn from the example of Cameco. Tim, congratulations again. Again, following up and making a point.
Pause this for a second and read this to you. India and Canada have announced a host of agreements, including a 10-year nuclear energy deal, after they met in Delhi to reset ties that plummeted due to diplomatic tensions. Narendra Modi and Mark Carney also struck agreement in areas such as technology, critical minerals, space, defense, and education. Carney said they agreed to conclude a free trade deal years in the making by the end of 2026. Free trade deal. Both countries want to reduce exposure to punitive U.S. trade tariffs. Under Carney, the two governments are trying to repair ties that were strained when his predecessor accused Delhi of a link to the 2023 unaliving of 6 separatists, Hardeep, whoever, on Canadian soil. Trade and diplomatic relations almost came to a standstill, but yeah. So this is a really big deal. Carney has been rebuilding this relationship for the last year, and it was helped by the fact that his government said it believes that India is not currently linked to any things against Canada or anything like that. Holy crap. Yeah. On trade, the Indian government said, the Indian president said, our target is to reach $50 billion in bilateral trade. This is why we have decided to finalize a comprehensive economic partnership soon. Carney said that he wanted to reach a deal on the quote unquote ambitious agreement by the end of the year. Holy crap, you guys. I don't know any other way for me to stress to you all that this is a big deal, and we should 100% be paying attention to what's happening everywhere around us. And I will say this, what interests me about some of you all in the chat that have said things like, oh, well, good, the EU can pay for its own defense now. You don't say that about Israel. When you say, oh, well, the US can stop being the main financier of the UN, you don't say that about Israel. And the reality is we greatly finance Israel. We finance their weapons. We finance their universal health care. We finance their free education that they give to their people. Meanwhile, people in the United States of America do not get universal health care, do not have free education, right? So I just want to point that out. When you are talking about, oh, well, these other people can pay for themselves, you don't say that about Israel. We pay. And then we go to war for them with people we don't have no business being in a fucking war with. No, it's because of Zionism, Caitlin. And there are Christian Zionists, and there are Jewish Zionists, and then there are just non-religious Zionists. So I just want to point that out so that people understand. Oh, so I'll give you some of the high points between Canada and China. So their deal between Canada and China is to lower tariffs on Canadian agricultural exports like canola and seafood and peas starting March 1st, right? In exchange for easing restrictions on Chinese electrical vehicles. It aims to boost trade. It includes a target to raise exports by 50% by 2030. Yeah. China is reducing tariffs on Canadian canola seed from 84% to 15%. And they will remove anti-discrimination duties on canola meal, lobsters, peas, and crabs. Electric vehicles. Canada will allow an annual quota of 49,000 Chinese-made EVs at a 6.1% tariff rate, reversing the 100% tariff that was implemented in 2024. Canada aims to increase all overall exports to China by 50% by 2030. Canada will extend and expand, effective 3 days ago, the temporary relief measures for certain Chinese steel and aluminum products that are in short supply in Canada. The deal is viewed as a, quote, renormalization of trade relations following years of tension and a move to diversify away from the U.S. market. And the United States' response is to threaten very substantial tariffs on Canadian goods. That's our response. Now, let me just be clear. The reason these countries are seeking these deals is to reduce their dependency on us, because tariffs are being used to bully people and retaliate against people, right? They're being weaponized. And so our response to them making these deals is to continue to weaponize tariffs, which is the very reason they are diversifying away from us to fucking start with. Right, sir, but the response is more bullying. Like, I told you, don't believe that fat meat is greasy and shit stinks. But it does. 100%. Meanwhile, this administration is spending money like it's nobody's fucking business. We're in a war that we have no business being in without congressional approval that could cost us over $200 billion. The last time that we did this and we said it was going to take a few weeks, we were there for 9 years. 9 years. Y'all not going to hear nobody talking about the Dow. You want to know why? Because that shit fell 1,000 points yesterday. The Dow is down like 880 points or something crazy. You're not going to hear nobody saying, but the Dow is over 50,000. Not now. And your gas ain't $2 a damn gallon. The average price of gas in the United States of America is $3.20. Oil prices are up to $80 a barrel. Obama didn't take us into war facts. So I want to be clear that there's a difference between a targeted strike and a war. They are two different things. They are two different things. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And the thing about it is I don't give a shit because Barack Obama is not in office. Y'all talking about a man that has not been in office since fucking 2015, 2016. Y'all talking about a man that hasn't been in office in a damn decade. You have ODS, Obama Derangement Syndrome. That's what you have. ODS, Obama Derangement Syndrome. Obama. I don't give a damn. The man has not been in office for 10 years. Talking about somebody that ain't even in office. He damn laying on a damn beach somewhere, living his best ass life. It has literally been a decade. The craziest thing ever. We are in our third administration since that man was in office. Do y'all realize that? We are in our third administration since Barack Obama was the president. And y'all still talking about that man. And while you might not mean for it to, it gives the impression that you're racist. I just want to share that with you. It gives the impression that you're racist. Because I have never seen a time when you were like, well, what about Jimmy Carter? I'm just saying. I think y'all jealous because it don't crack. And you wish you had the charisma that he has. There's never been a single in my memory, in my lifetime, there's never been a single Republican president that has the charisma of Barack Obama. And y'all can't stand it. It's the craziest thing ever. I sit around and I wonder why white men are so angry. Because y'all be the angriest people I know. And I don't get it. The most damn privileged and the most angry. And when I thought about that, I figured it out. Is because even with every advantage of the world laid at your feet, you still cannot compare. That's not all of y'all. It's the angry ones I'm talking to. And not only does the man have the nerve to be charismatic, he's got the nerve to be brilliant and faithful and married. Right. And married to a woman just as brilliant, if not more so than him. Right. And has empathy and has compassion. And let me just be clear, that does not mean that I don't know his faults. I do. I don't agree with his decisions around Syria, and I don't agree with his decisions around immigration. But what I do know is that he did not tear down our relationships with all of our allies. That's what I do know. And I know that other countries respected him and respected the office that he held. We do not currently have that now. So, just saying. And by the way, the relationships that we had during C-19, folks, you can thank Kamala Harris for those. It was the vice president of the United States that traveled all over the world, rebuilding relationships and trying to rebuild trust that Donald Trump ruined in his first administration. You can thank her for that. That's what she did. Behind the scenes, getting no credit, no celebration. But y'all can be happy that we have a gold-plated Trump Plaza fucking ballroom. You know, I think about this country. And when I think about it from a global perspective, and some of y'all won't like this, and that's okay. When I think about Black and brown people around the world, because there are more of us than there are white folk around the world. White people are the minority around the globe, right? There are white people are the minority in the world. And so you think about, how did they get the position that they did? And it's because they were willing to be something that Black and brown people weren't okay being. They were willing to be and do things to people that Black and brown countries weren't willing to do. Not on the same scale, not on the same measure. Are there always some bad apples in a bunch? Sure. But not on the same scale and not driven by the same greed. It is almost like the appetite is insatiable. It's almost like the appetite for power and greed is insatiable for some particular groups of people. And that's why they can't stay in power anymore. It's why we must diversify our Congress. It's why we need to return to the matriarchy. It's why we must return to the matriarchy. Because women know how to lead and heal at the same time. Women know how to discipline and rebuild you at the same time. That's what women know how to do. And that's why it's necessary. It doesn't mean that we won't have any men. Sure we will. Sure we will. But the reality is that it must be the matriarchy. And it will be. So, get ready. Well, thanks, Wawa. So, I am, and so it is, exactly. That is the path that we are on, folks. Yes, and men will be better off. Men will be better off. Yep. Like I mean, and let me say this to men, because in some ways I feel sorry for you, because you grew up in a society that told you you could not be vulnerable, that you could not have emotion, that everything that you felt needed to be transmuted into anger. And so in some ways, the society that you've created and the people that you have become is not entirely your fault. However, it is your responsibility to recognize it and become something different. It is your responsibility to recognize it and become something different. It's what's necessary. So, yeah, and well, Alicia, and I don't even know that it's really happy. It might be happy. It's not joy, though, right? Yeah. Yeah, Julia, we do want to keep them around. At least I do. I'm not here for getting rid of all men. I'm not for that. I love men, right? Um, I'm also a woman, so I love their potential. I think I see the potential. Women do that a lot. We see the potential of someone, right? That's what we do. Shoot, I open my own pickle jar. I don't need nobody for that. I opened my own pickle jar. I hear you, Don. So, all right. So, it is about that time. And this is the time where, how many of you all, if this is your first time in my live, put a one in the comments for me. If this is your first time in my live, put a one in the comments. Or if you are relatively new to me, put a one in the comments. Cam and Sin, fuck both of y'all. The lies you tell. Okay, welcome people, welcome people, welcome people, welcome people. Love to see new people. Grateful that you guys are here. Mr. Bardios put it too. A couple of things. All right, so let me share two things with you all. Scotty ABC has given you the phone number to be able to call your elected officials. It is 202-224-3121. Okay. Second thing is I have a webinar that I am doing this Sunday. If you are someone that desires a plan on how we have a majority, progressive majority in Congress in the midterms, if you are someone that wants an outline of what we do, right? What we can do, things that we can do, tools, resources. You know how the Republican Party had Project 2025, right? If you are wanting the progressive version of that, that helps us right this ship that we are on together and put us in a position to shore up the things in this country, do me a favor and put any color heart you want in the chat. If you would like a plan for progressives in this country, for progressive populists, right? Put a heart of any color in the chat if that is something that you desire to see. Because I think a lot of people have been looking at the Democratic Party saying, what's the plan? How do we get there? And I haven't seen the Democratic Party really have anything. I haven't seen them have an answer for that. Okay. So I love to see all of the hearts. So that is something that I have been working on. So I have been working on my own plan. And it is called, instead of Project 2025, it is Project for the People. And I am going to launch it and share it on Sunday, this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a webinar. You have the ability to register and join me for that by going to my link tree and and then registering and clicking the link. Okay. So what I want to do really quickly before we have some river to the sea time is I actually am going to share with you the opening to the project. Would you guys like to hear, to get a gist, to get an idea of what this is about? Would you like to hear the opening letter of the project? And you can share it with anybody and everybody. You can invite candidates, you can invite elected officials, you can invite anyone that you would like to come. Okay. Some of you all have maybe heard me share this one other time, but I'm going to share it now. All right. You ready? So here it comes. Okay. So it is called Project for the People. It is called the Progressive Populist Promise. If you don't know what that means, to be progressive is to simply want progress and inclusion and humanity and human beings first. And a populist is someone who wants and supports policy that is good for the average person, right? Just normal folks, not billionaires and centimillionaires. So this is the progressive populist promised, a strategy on how we stop the madness, get the country on track, and build a country that works for the benefit of the people. Introduction. The majority of the country doesn't like the direction that we are going. The attack on our institutions, violations of civil rights, and erosion of governmental trust have left many people wondering what they can do to, quote unquote, put things back on track. The purpose of this document is to provide answers to that question. Within these pages, you will discover three main pathways that will lead us back to a stable, democratic, constitutional republic that works for the benefit of the people. The three-step process for progress is, number one, elections. In order to put progressive populist voices in a position to create legislation, policy, and accountability that works for the benefit of the average person, we must get serious about winning elections. That means developing a new strategy. The foundation of our election strategy is accurate election data. Numbers don't lie, people do. It's not about what people post on their social media, say to the pollsters, or tell their friends. What people do during the short window they are able to cast their ballot is what matters. So we might do well to start there. Number two, communities and conversations. Disconnection and voter apathy led to over 80 million registered voters simply choosing not to participate in the 2024 presidential election. Our country won't survive another election with that level of disengagement. That's why it's absolutely essential that we begin cultivating conversations within our communities that are effective, equipping everyday people on how to have productive conversations, even on hard topics, and giving them the framework to know when, where, and with whom to have those conversations is how we move the needle consistently and permanently. And number three, government accountability. Neutralizing the threat that exists within the current administration is imperative as we move closer to the next election. The most effective mechanism for that is the articles of impeachment. The key will be in selecting the individuals to impeach, gathering the most compelling evidence to ensure the impeachment and removal, and determining the order in which they should be impeached. When done properly, these three objectives will provide an undeniably positive outcome for the people with minimal risk. A note on Project for the People. We need you. Project for the People is a citizen-led effort to be ready for the next midterm election scheduled to take place on November 3rd, 2026. No, Ash, actually not Trump first at all. No, not Trump first. By reading this document, you have a responsibility to do what is in the best interest of not only yourself, your family, and your loved ones, but also your neighbors, community, and the population as a whole. To whom much is given, much is required. And now that you are aware of this movement, you are responsible for the action you do or don't take from here. Progressive campaigns tend to wait until the last 3 or 4 months before the election to start truly organizing and implementing strategy. That will be too late in 2026. Our communities are already too stressed out. The dangers of ICE/DHS are becoming increasingly evident in our neighborhoods, and people may not be able to wait that long. Even if they could, would you be the most effective at that time? Probably not. The time is now. Unlike other prominent think tanks, we don't have large financial backers or significant political connections. What we do have is two things: heart and hope. Those are the things that make us the most dangerous to this administration and those who would like to see us continue down this path. It is also what makes us a threat to some members of the Democratic Party as well as the GOP. While the two parties are not the same, they share some devastating points of intersection with their conservative counterparts. And it's in those shared values and common goals that they find us a hazard to their agenda. As of today, they're all on notice regardless of party. This is a pragmatic approach to politics based on what's in the best interests of the people, average, everyday people. And while from a policy perspective that has traditionally leaned to the Democratic side of the aisle, it is not a free pass for Democratic reelection, especially without a primary challenger. In 2026, members of the Democratic Party who are currently in office have a small window in which to determine their path forward, because after we win a Democratic majority in Congress in November, we begin the process of challenging and defeating those members who put corporate interests, a particular religion, or foreign government before the American people. Project for the People needs people across all spectrums to come together and deconstruct the current administrative state and redesign our congressional state. There are those who would have you believe that it's not possible, that we don't have the power. They're wrong, and they know it. If we, the people, didn't have the power to make it happen, they wouldn't work so hard to limit or take it away. Why make it harder to vote? Why silence our voices? Why create media monopolies? Why engage in deliberate misinformation and disinformation campaigns? They're afraid you'll realize who the real enemy is and stop fighting the people in the same boat as you. This document is your invitation to support this message and join the movement in the best way possible in your life. What does that mean? It means not everyone will be able to participate in community organizing. Not everyone can run for office. Not everyone can put together community forums, etc. So find where you can be the most effective and that best fits your life. Just be real about it. Don't use it as an excuse for your apathy, depression, or resignation. Push yourself. We know how badly the other side wants the world they desire. They wrote a 900 plus page playbook on it and developed a coalition of over 50 conservative organizations to figure out how to make it happen. It's time to ask yourself, what are you willing to do? So that's the opening letter to the project. Good morning, Orvette. So that's the opening letter to the project. After that, there is no, rock, paper, scissors. I do not want to run for office. Yeah, no. But what we are going to do, so after the opening letter, I'm going to go through a little bit more of the project. You will then be able to have access to the document, but you will also have access to a lot of resources that I have put together for you. And so that is Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you go to my Linktree, which is if you go to my profile on YouTube, on all of that, and then you register for it. Hey, Becky. So yeah, Don Juan. So it is. I've started with 12 states for a particular reason. They are the 12 states that in 2024 had margins of 10% or less. But the work is not just on a state level. I actually have resources that are by individual states. I also have resources that are by Congress. And I also have resources that are congressional districts, And then I also have resources that are on the county level for some of the states. So, yeah, you will be able to you will have access to all of those resources and materials. And then once we roll this out on March 8th, we will start having days of action. No, Bone Slice, I actually mean resources, like things that you can download and print or share on social media. Yeah, I mean like actual resources. Yeah. So that is it. Okay. So you can join me this Sunday. I am working today or tomorrow to also put up a page that has the registration information on it. And I will share that across my socials as well. Please do that and share it out within your communities as well. If you are on my email list, you will be getting an email inviting you to register as well, and all of that. So so I'm gonna wrap things up over here. I appreciate you all. What's up, Irvette? Hope that you guys have an amazing day. And hopefully I will see you all Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Peace out.